Hi guys, we're going to proceed in this video into taking you into how to add, for example, which is something really ugly. I don't know why would anybody do that. But if you have the time, would like to be very special, and you would like to add, for example, a certain picture on the column chart, then I will show you how to do this right now. In fact, I would like to just walk you through the options for formatting a chart, really. So we're going to head now to sheet 3, picture, and we're going to select the data. Of course, we're going to insert a bar chart, and this is the bar chart. I took you through slightly through the different options that you have here. So you have different options here. As you can see, there is a little gradual effect and so on. There's these glowing rods here and this one as well. Now I'm going to show you how to format this, was it format the data series, or rather actually formatting the fill. So here's the fill. Here we have automatic. What if we had no fill? What if we have solid fill? Okay, so we want to add a picture. So let's add a picture here. So the default, or a texture. So the default here is stretch as a texture. Let me just not talk about this for now. So this is a picture or a texture. So if you wanna, let me just drag this so that you can see better. So if you invert if negative, this is one thing also I would like to show you, but maybe in a different chart. But let's talk about the different options that you have. As you can see, you have different options that you could use from the textures. And picture or texture, default is texture. And you can use different textures from here. So these are the default textures available that you could use. Or you can get anything from online. So for example, you can browse on your OneDrive and so on. Or you can browse it, from a file. So let's say that we're going to go to here. And I have this Ferrari picture. I really hated this Ferrari picture, so I came up with this picture instead. So I'm going to take this artistic picture instead. So as you can see here, we added a picture. Let's say that it is something for a museum kind of a presentation. You can now see the difference. Of course, most of you know what do we mean by transparency, as you can see. Let's keep it as full transparency. This is the difference between stack and the stretch. Stretch, you're stretching the image so that it will fit. Stack, you will stack the image here. And when you're stacking it, you can stack with no border or no line, or with a solid line and so on, or a gradual line. And this is the border. This is stack and scale. Usually we do want to do a stack, you want to scale it. So, okay. I know that this makes Excel a little bit angry. It's not the first time that this happens to me, but pictures are quite heavy. So here you can increase the number. So if you add the units to 100, look what happens. Still processing, in fact. So you're stacking it for as much as you want. So now it looks different, really. Okay. So now we can put here 500, for example. So now it's gonna get a bit bigger. So in terms of a scale, in terms of a size, it's gonna take a while. Yeah, you see. So this is just one scale that I wanted to show you. I had that Ferrari example in the presentation slide, so please follow if you would like to, or get whatever image that you like to follow. Okay, now let's talk about something a bit more interesting really, which is the labels and tables. Labels and tables. With labels and tables, let me just take you through it. Often that you want to add data labels or table to a graph to indicate the numerical values being graphed. You can learn to do this by using an example data that shows the sales of product lines at the True Color department store. So we're going to begin by adding the labels to a graph. So we're going to just select the range from C5 to D9, which is this range really, C5 to D9. And then we're going to create here, following this, we're going to create a column chart, and we're going to take the option of the clustered column. So we're going to go to Insert, Column, and More Column Charts, and we're going to take the clustered, this one, the default, really. Okay, so what are we trying to do? We're trying to have labels and tables. Okay, again, let's see. Now we're going to click on any column in the graph and choose layout of the chart, and from the layout we're going to want to add the category name and the value. So these are the labels. As you can see here, I have the, let me show you, right click and then go to the layout. So actually you just can add data labels from here. So add data labels easily like that. But these data labels that are added, they're just adding the values here. But what if you want to add the product itself? So how do we do that? So over here, we can go to formatting data labels, and then we can add the category name as well. Now the problem is, as you can see here, that we don't have a break, a line. So we don't want to put it in all one line. So what are we going to do? Here's the legend key if you want. You don't want that. We're going to add a separator here. So we're going to add a new line instead of a comma. It looks better. So you can add whatever separator you like really, or a space, but I like a new line. You can do whatever you like. The label position, you can position it as an outside at the end, which is the best position really, or inside at the base, who would like to do that, depending really, or at the center, but actually outside at the end is the best option. When it comes to the number, you can put it as a general, or if you're having a currency and it's in sales, I'm going to add a currency, and as you can see it comes also with the decimal points. You can get rid of the decimal points if you want, so you can delete the decimal points as you can see here. So these are options that you could explore, and of course you link it to the source, or if you link it to the source, the formatting is gone. Do you see that? So it goes back again to general. Now what happens if I actually format the series here, and I go to home and I go to currency over here, and now okay, nothing happens. So this is why you need to link it. So look what happens if you go to the format data labels, all right, and go to number, and do not change it here, right? Just link it to the source and see what happens. Okay, so you can, if you want to keep the data and not formatted here for whatever reason, and you want to just format it on the chart, you can do that. You knew how to do that now. But if you want to easy way out without wasting your time because you already had it formatted nicely here, you can just link it to source. And this is how you add labels on the chart. Okay, is there anything else I would like to talk to you about? Maybe let's explore together a little bit of different formats here. So, for example, this is the layout. You like this dark kind of theme. Let's imagine. And then let's say that you want to go visit a quick layout. With a quick layout, you can, in fact, take a look here. Why do you need a label if you actually already have, like, why do you want to duplicate? If you have here the product name and the sales, and you have also the sales here and the product name here, why do you need that? So maybe the best option is to go this way. I think this is the only option that I could talk about for now. So this option, in fact, is a quick option out. And if you want, you can, again, format data series. Not format data series, we're talking labels here. So format data labels. So format the data labels and add the product name if you want. And then here, if you are worried that your audience will not pay attention to the bottom, then you can just take a look at a very simple, and get rid of this maybe, not necessary. And then here you can just see a different representation of the data, really. So play around with different options and try it. Okay, now let us, this is also different combination. You might opt for something like this, like a table kind of format, either like this or either like a table. Let me show you how to get the table. If you notice, guys, you need to select the chart first before you have the chance to access design or format. And from here, you can access the different layouts. So quick layout, and you have this option of the layout. So you will have the table instead of the labels. All right, so now let's talk about the next one. I think we've done this so many times in the past so far, which is the pivot table. Well, let's head to the survey data. With the survey data, click here on the head of the pivot table data, and then insert pivot table, but this time let's put it in an existing sheet and let's choose the location. How about we locate the table? Let me check what I have in my slides. Where did we add it? It doesn't really mention any preferences, so we can add it anywhere we want. Okay, why don't we add it somewhere here? And then we hit OK. And now let's see what we need to we need to plot the different responses. But in fact, here's the question, and this is the responses. I'm going to take the responses also and put it into columns because I want to show you the responses as a category. If you remember the very first class with you guys, I told you if you put it into columns, response, you are telling the Excel that I want the categories, and that's true. This is an ordinal data type. usually you ask people to rate their preference from a scale to 1 to 5. This we call it ordinal data. It's a Likert scale data. So if you took marketing research, if you're into marketing, I advise you to take the marketing research class with Professor Tajdini, and it will be quite helpful for your career as a marketer. And this is how you plot the data. So you put the responses here, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. And then, as you guys know already, we are interested in to count the frequencies. So how many people, how many are interested in 1, how many loaded 3, how many chose 4, and how many their preferences was 5. Let's kind of like, I like it centralized, so let's centralize it, it's better. So here is the data. So now you are interested really, as you can see here in this chart, to see the answers for each question and see where most of the responses were, on 5 or on 1, so the frequencies. So basically you're going to take this, actually add and insert a chart, insert a pivot chart, right? So you insert the pivot chart and it will give you this clustered column chart, which is the default. Let's make it a bit bigger so everyone can see nicely. So this is the attractive packaging, better tasting, they're all loading high. That this is one of the things. Let me read for you a little bit about the background of this study. So to determine a new product's viability, market researchers often ask potential customers questions about a new product. So these pivot tables can be usually used to summarize this type of data, and we already knew that we are going to take count, because today we just covered count. Actually, I'm recording this Tuesday night. Anyway, the survey data here is actually using a market research survey based on data from questions, 7 questions about a product. For example, you have a scale from 1 to 5 and it says likely to buy and so on, with a higher score indicating, like 5 indicating a more favorable view of the product. So depending on the packaging, as you can see here, depending on, what did I do? The attractiveness of the packaging, better the taste of the product, the easy of cooking, likely to buy, nutritious meal, recommended to a friend, and too expensive. And this is how you plot your data for research, really, and for presentations. So you plot it using a pivot table, a count, and then here is the data. And this is the kind of questions or factors. Now, to tell you the truth, when it comes to marketing data, we focus on 2 main questions that help us understand whether this product satisfies you really much or not. And these 2 proxy questions are the likely to buy, are you likely to buy again, or likely to buy if it's a new product, and recommended for a friend. So if you score high on these 2, then this means that you also highly satisfied. So are you going to be likely to buy and recommend to a friend? This is basically not only with a new product, but also most importantly, when you're satisfied with an existing product, are you going to buy again? So the question will be different. Are you going to buy again? What happened to my Excel now? Oh, why? Oh no. Okay. All my hard work is gone. Let's do it again. I wonder if the pivot chart is gonna get angry at me again. Oh, wait a minute. Learned our lesson. Save it. Okay. So now, okay. So now let's see. Again. Okay. So I have a little bit of a problem with my data, with my file, but at least it is saved now. Let me check something. Let me uncheck only one of them. Again, it's the same problem. All right, all right, all right, all right. It should work. Technically, it should work. But I don't know why my Excel on this computer is working. You know, maybe it's tired, needs to go to bed. So it's not gonna work. So instead, I'm just gonna take it this way. I'm gonna just take likely to buy and copy that. And recommend to a friend. And here insert. And then bar chart. Yeah. So let me show you what to do now. So now I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna go to select data, edit. These are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you guys noticed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want. Look what's happening. I see. This is a problem. I have 2 questions, and look what's happening. In fact, it should be like that. I had for the 2 questions. This is the difference why I like the pivot chart. Pivoted chart directly understands what we want and gives for each question, gives me the how many in 1, how many in 2, how many in 3. Versus if you're not gonna use the pivoted chart, look what happened here. So over here what happened is basically this is for 1, the answer 1, you have 18, 18. For 2, you have 18, 17. So basically this is blue one is likely to buy and orange one is the recommended to a friend. But I don't want it in this format. I want it in this format. I think there is a way to do it. Let's check. So there is a way to do it, which is not move chart type, not to change chart type. Yes, it is. So we're gonna have to select here. So you need to select the second option. So Excel is very smart, showing you this option and this option. So this option is the default in the regular insert chart, but with the pivot table, it's very smart. It knows that we want this one. So now we can easily, with a simple click of a button, we can easily, as you can see here, we don't need this really. You know, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. If you want to add labels, you can add data labels if you want, but this will show you here the numbers really. And I really like to show the numbers so that you can say that people, the number as you are presenting, you can see exactly how many in fact answered 1, how many answered 5, and so on. So I like this representation. Of course you can format your data label in such a way that it is a little bit inside at the end, but look what happens. So you need to change the and why is it not, you see, this is also another issue, that not all of them are, I need to actually, they're not all connected. So this is the problem here. It's not easy to format it. So do whatever you like with the format. I think this is a valid chart as well if you want to look at two of them only. But this should work. But right now it's not working with my Excel. Yeah, it's not going to work with my Excel. But at least I showed you an alternative way if you're not going to use the pivot table for whatever reason. Even though there shouldn't be any reason, yours should be all right. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to unselect and only select the two questions that I'm interested in and have them presented, but it seems to be too much for the pivot table for Excel, for my Excel on this computer to handle. Hopefully your computer will be way much better than mine and it won't give you this trouble. So in this video we learned how to deal with this kind of survey data. So if you decide to collect data on a Likert scale from 1 to 5 and you want to summarize your data in no time, you see how much time it took you? Nothing, virtually nothing. So you can actually use it either to show many questions at a time or one question. And also I showed you in this video how to add the labels or change the layout of the chart.